Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Cammy Goes Keto, where I am here today to talk about basically part 2 of a motivational interviewing, where I am going to give you an example of the 4 motivational interviewing questions and some answers that I am looking at as far as the change that I want to make in my life. So just a quick check-in with my diet, doing carnivore, doing well. My ketones are only 0.3. I've been having some days where I'm just eating too many carbs. I'm not binging, which is great, but I am eating too many carbohydrates on some days, just sneaking stuff in like salsa. Or the other day I ate a small apple with some peanut butter on it. And so those will both have a little bit of carbs and some ketchup on my meatloaf. So things like that is kind of keeping me out of some good ketosis. So I'm working on tightening that up a bit, but no binges, no binge. I don't know. It's been maybe 9 days. It's not a super long time, but feeling better, having a different mindset about it and realizing that I don't have to be perfect and not beating myself up so bad when I make some choices that aren't the best. So that's a really good move for me, just feeling a little shift in that, and hopefully it's going to show up on the scale soon. So my sports nutrition helper, Jeff, has been out with a medical leave and will hopefully be back soon. So I have not been getting on a scale technically and measuring my fat and muscle, but I've been going to the gym. And so very soon we'll catch up with that. So the motivational interviewing question that I wanted to work on myself personally, that I want to make a change with, is being more capable of experiencing long-term gratification and not acting on short-term immediate desires, not being reactive and looking at the long-term goal of losing 100 pounds or losing 50 pounds this year, a significant amount of weight, not being so reactive to some of the decisions that I'm trying to make when I want to binge or eat off plan food, trying to think in the long term about going on a journey and how experiencing the journey and being able to have some delayed gratification would make the journey better and would give me more success. So the changes that I need to do in order to be successful, one of the things I wrote here was visualization of long-term goals, okay, to think about being thinner, healthier, energetic, feeling sexy and desirable, and to also look at what I call my future and thinking about what the future looks like and how you want that to be done. I'm listening to some lectures that I'm doing, a course that I'm taking to become a metabolic health practitioner. And there is a course in there that talks about looking at your preferred future and having hope around your preferred future. And so as you are thinking about doing something immediately and not having the delayed gratification, thinking about your preferred future and having some hope around that would hopefully help you to deter yourself from making a wrong decision immediately. Having faith and knowing that it's coming, that my preferred future is coming if I make the right decision in that moment. I wrote here also to divert my attention to something else when the immediate desires and the cravings come. Call somebody, reach out, look back at the recent moments that happened right prior to me wanting to eat off plan and seeing if I can figure out what it is that irritated me. For example, the other day I was tired and I was hungry. And then it always seems to be 3 things. It's a trifecta for me. I was a little tired and I was a little hungry. And then I got an email that I didn't like the answer to something I was inquiring about, my mortgage payment. And so that made me mad. And then as soon as I got mad, immediately I started to feel hungry. It's so interesting. Physically, I feel hungry right away, immediately. And there really was no reason for me to be hungry in that moment because I had eaten my meal. I'm on a GLP-1 small dose agonist. And so that's what it was. And being able to understand that that's why I was feeling hungry was a good way for me to just say, okay, you don't need to eat right now. You can drink a glass of water. You can divert your attention somewhere else. And I was able to do that and wait till it was mealtime for me. Another thing that I can do is make outreach calls on a daily basis, whether I need to or not, instead of waiting when the red siren goes off and I have to make an outreach call. I can make outreach calls daily to people just to check in. I call it insurance. I like to get some insurance and to also fill my tank. Like, how you work on filling your dopamine tank and doing acts of loving kindness, I call them, where you go to the jacuzzi, you go to the sauna, you take a cold shower, you go for a walk, you get in nature, you take a nap, you journal, you call somebody. Those are all things that you do to fill your dopamine tank. And so I could also do, these other things to fill my, I'm not going to binge tank, and to give me some insurance as far as my diet and how I'm going to eat and make healthier choices. So that's something I can do. I also wrote deal with hunger and emotions regularly throughout the day so I don't get my F it moments where I just want to say, screw it, I'm just going to eat off plan. Dealing with my feelings and emotions throughout the day as they come up can help give me some insurance from that too. So the top 3 reasons, that was the second question, which was, if you decide to make this change, how might you go about doing it in order to succeed? So those were the things that I had just discussed just now. And then the third question is, what are the 3 best reasons for you to do it? So what are the 3 best reasons for me to think about long-term gratification instead of short-term gratification? The biggest reason for me is I really want to be healthier. I want to live. I am metabolically unhealthy. I'm less unhealthy than I was actually a year ago. My insulin levels are coming down. I mean, things are improving. The weight is not really coming off significantly yet, but hopefully my fat is changing and some visceral fat is going away as I'm doing more weightlifting in the gym and converting some of my fat to muscle. So I want to be healthier. And I want to be successful with my weight loss and get metabolically healthy. I guess that's kind of the same thing. And then I want to look attractive and I want to find a sweet, nice man. I have that on here. I want to find a sweet, nice man. And I want him to insist that I love and appreciate my body, and I am able to demonstrate that through good self-care. I've realized that that's really important for me in a relationship. I have to, even really before a man gets in the picture, I need to love and respect the way that I'm treating my own body. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm not going to be able to allow somebody to love and be attracted to me. And I figured that out actually pretty recently with a sweet, nice guy that I wasn't ready for. And then the fourth question is, how important would you say it is for you to make this change on a scale of 0 to 10? And I wrote here a 10. I'm really motivated right now. And I wanted to let you know that when I went to the Symposium for Metabolic Health recently, it was a fabulous 4-day event. It was in Coronado. It was really fun. A bunch of us were there. We had a whole row of 6 people every day in the 4th row. It was really, really great. Karen was there, and Nikki and Cynthia and Catherine, some people from 3 different areas of my life. It was very fun. And while we were there, I realized that I was embarrassed to be there at the weight that I was at, because 2 years prior, Karen and I had gotten up on stage and said we were starting our YouTube channel and that we were going to get metabolically fit. And here it is 2 years later, and I am not metabolically fit yet. Now, I have to admit that I'm struggling with the severe, with eating disorder, and this binge eating is getting really in the way. And God willing, I have that basically tied up and fixed up here, in a neat little bow, right? It's constant, diligent and work. And, it's a maintenance kind of thing, but hopefully that's coming along and some weight loss will be happening over this next year. But I don't want to be embarrassed at that conference next year. I want to look healthier. I want to be obviously healthier with some weight loss. And I want my metabolic parameters, my markers to be improved. So I'm going to be hiring one of the speakers that's there, I'm not sure which one yet, to do a metabolic consult with and to order my labs and then to follow up with them. And this costs money, but I think it's going to be worth it for me to be followed by somebody. I might be able to do it with somebody who's local here in San Diego too. So I think that would be great. So the reason why it's not a 4 or a 6 or an 8 as far as motivation mostly is because I think about being humiliated, and that's not a healthy reason to be doing something, right? But hey, whatever works, right? Whatever's going to work for me. And knowing my history, a lot of the reasons why I do things are motivationally unhealthy. But anyway, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of this motivational interviewing. I'm going to go ahead and I want to try to figure out if I can post a link to a piece of paper that will have these questions written down for you. So I'm going to try to work on that. at the end of this video. All right, well, hopefully that gives you some stuff to think about. And in my next video, I'm going to be talking just briefly. It's not going to be really super long, but I'm going to be talking about discomfort and how you deal with discomfort in your life in all sorts of different ways. And, a lot of the things I talk about aren't really about your food and what you're eating, but this all has to do with your diet and how looking and processing these things that I discuss will help you be able to stick to your diet and to your goals in a more successful way. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you at the next video. Bye.